Thank you for listening to News Radio 710 WNTM. Here with John McNeil, Ed Ahrens, and Virginia McNeil O'Brien. McNeil, Ahrens, and Lambert Financial Group. You can find out more online at malfinancial.com. That's malfinancial.com. Ed and Virginia are investment advisor representatives with AE Wealth Management. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, which is an SEC-registered investment advisor. Welcome back to the show, and we start off with inspirational thoughts. Ed Ahrens.
Uncle Henry, this one won't top John's this morning with his $86,000 bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
This one has to do with settling accounts, though, and there was a young fellow who was working his way through college, and he was very, very poor, and during the summers he sold books door to door. And one day he was just starving, and he didn't have any money much to buy food, so he thought when he got to the next house he would just ask for something to drink. And a beautiful lady came to the door and asked what he could do, and then he talked about the books, and then he said, "And could I have a drink of water?" And she said, "Well, sure." And she went and got him, instead of giving him a glass of water, she gave him a huge glass of milk. And he drank the whole thing, and it satisfied his hunger, and he left revived and kind of revitalized and so forth. Years later, in a town up north, a doctor was a surgeon, Dr. Howard Kelly, was called in to consult with a woman who was suffering from a rare disease. And when the lady told him the name of the small town where she lived, he felt a faint memory arise in his mind, and he suddenly recognized who she was. She was the woman who had given him the glass of milk years and years ago. And he went on to provide her with the best skilled care, medical care that she could have ever received. In fact, his skills as a doctor actually wound up saving her life. And after a long, difficult hospitalization, the lady was ready finally for discharge, and she was worried that it would take her years to settle her account with a hospital. And her serious illness and long hospital stay had produced an unbelievable bill. However, when she received the bill, she found that Dr. Kelly had paid the entire bill himself and written a small note on the bill for her, and the note simply stated, "Paid in full with a glass of milk."
Great story.
Good story. Yeah.
The moral of the story is give without expectation of anything to receive in the future, and you'll be surprised what might happen somewhere down the road.
Great.
29 billion seconds later.
Now, what about a worst joke?
Uncle Henry, you know, people are buying guns and ammunition like it's going out of style. And if you look at some of the sectors of the market that are experiencing the most growth, the gun manufacturers like Smith & Wesson and Ruger and companies like that are growing exponentially. Well, in honor of this, Ruger, the company that makes most of the handguns and so forth, has designed and has manufactured a new handgun called the Congressman.
The Congressman.
It's called the Congressman.
A new gun called the Congressman.
It doesn't work, and you can't fire it.
We're here with McNeil, Ahrens, and Lambert Financial Group, malfinancial.com. So can all of you give us an update on the economy and the market right now?
Well, the market, it's up. It's still going up, and we talked in the break, a little while ago. It just seems to keep, you said, just seems to keep going up and up. And, that's kind of what's been going on. There's, the market this morning, of course, the market's only been open a few minutes, or not very long anyway, and it's, really just kind of flat for the morning. But some people expect a little bit of jumping around today, just depending on what goes on with the Comey and the Comey
testimony.
Thank you. And it's always interesting to see what the market actually reacts to, because things that historically you can kind of predict what it's going to react to. You know, an unexpected person that's running for office winning, you would usually see a big reaction. You know, talk of you know, things going on overseas like Korea and Russia and all those kind of things, you would expect to see some bigger jumps. And you know, we haven't really seen that. It's just really been steadily going up, and for most sectors anyway. But in general, it's been going up, and you know, it's really hard for us to predict. We don't have a crystal ball. But what we're saying is, you know, just to, you know, be conservative right now. With new monies going into the market, it's usually not, or this time right now when the market's up so high, it's really not, in our opinion, a great time to get into the market.
If you're
there, stay there, and just be cautious. But it's a crazy world. So we'll see what the market's going to be doing today, you know, throughout this testimony, and seeing what the reaction is to investors. Like we said, you know, yesterday, the reaction for investors, people were very positive. They had a really positive outlook on today's testimony. They thought that the talking heads were being a little dramatic, and that really there wasn't going to be a big outcome today, that, you know, Trump wasn't going to be brought down by today's testimony. It was really going to be more about, I guess,
smoke and
fluff.
mirrors.
Yeah, it was just going to be more fluff than anything. So we'll see what really happens. It's going to be interesting.
It's interesting also to see what happens overseas and the impact that it has on our market. Today, the European Central Bank is meeting, and they're going to determine interest rates and so forth. And that could have a potential effect on our market just because of what's going on over there. You know, 50 years ago, communication across the Atlantic Ocean took a few days. So in things that were going on over there or over here, it took a while for that to get in to have an impact on the market or anything else that was going on. Today, information is instantaneous, and it has that same effect on the market. One little thing, because we were talking about it the other day when, I think it was when Bill Clinton, or no, it was
Obama.
When Obama got the flu, the market dropped. In fact, they closed the market because the drop was going so fast it hit the stops. But then they came back in and corrected it and said that was a mistake. He does not have the flu. And the market jumped back up. But just in that short period of time, to see the impact it had on the market and how many different factors involved in market movements.
We also have the election in England today. You know, the prime minister, and the market will react depending on who gets elected. They're assuming that the Conservative will stay in, but if the Labour Party wins, it'll have a dramatic effect here because that moves England toward more of a socialist state.
Now, you mentioned that modern communication means we know instantaneously when anything happens globally.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's one aspect of this. Is it also a factor that we're a more global economy? That is that what's going on also, that people have interests in not just their own country but in many other countries?
A lot of investments are in the Pacific Rim companies.
Okay.
A lot of mutual funds are invested in companies over in those areas. And so you look at some of the global investments, and the global economy impacts that as it does things that are going on in our way. You know, this morning I was listening to the show on the way in, and I heard you mention bots.
Bots?
Bots, which is short for robots in the computer world, that are just computer programs that are in there that are generating a lot of interest to make things look really, really better than what they are.
But yeah, Rush Limbaugh was talking about that this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then also, it's interesting some of the names, the short names that we come up with, like POTUS.
Yes.
President of the United States. They call him POTUS.
Yes.
Anyway, enough of a sideshow there.
Okay, so we're going to take a timeout and then come back with more. McNeil, Ahrens, Lambert Financial Group, malfinancial.com. You can call their office at 251-666-5000. That's 251-666-5000.
If you or someone you know is blind from retinitis pigmentosa, or RP, there may now be light at the end of the tunnel. The FDA has approved a prosthesis system that provides some artificial vision for those blinded by RP. Known as the Argus II Retinal Prosthesis System and designated by FDA as a humanitarian device, this is the only FDA-approved treatment for end-stage retinitis pigmentosa. Find out more by calling 800-499-7620, 800-499-7620 to learn more about an FDA-approved system that restores some vision for those blinded by RP. Call 800-499-7620. Call now. Argus II is indicated for use in patients with profound RP who are 25 years or older with bare light or no light perception in both eyes and who have a previous history of useful form vision. Patients may not be eligible due to certain ocular diseases, conditions, or structures that could prevent the Argus II from working, or a successful implantation or adequate healing from surgery, or the presence of a metallic or active implantable device in the head. Side effects include conjunctival erosion or dehiscence, endophthalmitis, hypotony, retinal detachment, and dislodgement of the retinal tact.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-224-5353. That's 1-800-224-5353. 1-800-224-5353. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price can vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
We're back on News Radio 710 WNTM with McNeil, Ahrens, Lambert Financial Group. John McNeil, Ed Ahrens, Virginia McNeil O'Brien. malfinancial.com is where you can find information about their firm and other information there as well, malfinancial.com. In the last segment, I'd asked you about an update on the economy and the market, and you've told me now for quite a while that the market has behaved in non-historic ways, that it just keeps staying up and up. How can I protect myself from what has got to be inevitable? I mean, it can't continue to go up and up and up and up, right? I mean, how can I protect myself from what probably might ought to happen?
Well, probably might ought to happen. We don't know.
Exactly, because it's not acting the way it has in the past.
Right, and people have done very well in their 401ks and their investments and the portfolios that our clients have that Ed and Virginia have put together their portfolios.
I want to protect myself from what if James Comey says something or just anything happens and there's a correction. How do I protect myself?
There are a number of ways that you can protect what you've got. Uncle Henry, most people who come and see us are either approaching retirement or already retired, and they come to the realization that whatever they've got is all they're going to have. They're not going to be making any more money. So their investments, their portfolios, all of that has to be protected so that it can produce an income for a certain period of years. Now, that certain period of years, we don't know how long that's going to be. It's going to be the rest of their lives. So we've got to set out a plan. People come to us and we say, do you have a plan? And they hear us talking on this radio station about a plan. Well, yeah, I've got a plan. Well, they come to us and we in our first meeting, we ask them to bring all of their information. Well, you say you have a plan. What is your plan? Well, here it is. And it's a portfolio, but it's not a plan. It's just a portfolio, a bucket of money.
A lot of us don't know. We learn how to accumulate, but we don't really know anything beyond that.
Right.
All people like me know about the stock market is I put into the 401k and then one day.
Yeah, and then one day. That's your bucket. But you
Right.
need to have a plan. Even while you're working, you ought to sit down with someone like us to develop a plan. It doesn't cost anything to come sit down with us and let us help you develop a plan, get your plan in place. Even though we can't handle your 401k, we'll talk about that in a minute. But one day you will be moving that 401k to an IRA. And if we already have a plan in place on how we're going to do it and knowing exactly what we've got to have in order for you to retire, to live on the amount of income you're going to need/want, because that's two different things, then we're much better off. And that's having a plan. Building into everyone's an appropriate amount of defense. Because everybody's different. Some people don't mind having all of their money at risk. Some people don't want any of their money at
Right.
risk. That gets into defense. How much of a defensive posture do we want to take? How much do we want to protect against what James Comey is saying right now to the Senate, to those people in
Well,
Washington?
you've mentioned the red zone before. If I'm in the red zone getting close to retirement, I want as much defense as is possible. I want to be protected against a market correction.
You want to move more and more into a defense. As the older you get, whether you're in retirement or approaching retirement or whatever, the older you get, the more defense you want. Because as we get older, and if we do have a portfolio exposed to any type of risk, then we don't want to have to live through a 2001 or a 2008 because we don't have time to make it back up. And we're not still putting money into our plan because we're no longer earning a paycheck. We're having to take money out of our plan. So we don't want to get in a situation where we have a portfolio where we're taking money out to live on and the market takes money out due to a correction in the market. So we build in defensive postures in the portfolio. We go into great detail when people come. It's in our second meeting with people who come to us. We gather information in the first meeting. The three of us design the plan. We lay the plan out in the second meeting, and then we have a third and probably a fourth meeting where we implement the plan. And it may not be all at one time. We may implement the plan over a period of years. But it doesn't cost anything for somebody to come in, sit down, and us gather the information and design the plan.
Yeah, we call it our second opinion. You know, our second opinion, our financial second opinion, and just exactly what it says, just getting another set of eyes, another, just so if you were to have a health problem and you wanted a second opinion from a doctor, it's just simply another set of eyes looking at the same situation, the same facts that are being presented and giving their opinion on it. And that's what we're doing as far as that. And, we always like to say that, we love the team approach because we have three different opinions sort of in one. We have the three different approaches from three different minds looking at it. And so that really brings in a whole different perspective on everything, in our opinion.
Yeah, it's not just about the money, because we want to find out a lot of information about you, because that helps us design a plan that is going to be more of a holistic plan than just a boilerplate. This is what you get, sign here and it's over. So we want to find out, where you've been, what you've been doing, what some of the good things are that you've done, what maybe are some of the mistakes that you've made along the way, and what are some of your concerns in the future. And a lot of folks are facing situations where they still have an elder mom or dad living that can't quite make it financially on their own. And we need to know that so we can plan. And we also want to look at what are the costs of investing. We want to minimize those. And what's the tax impact when you start drawing money out? How can we minimize that? Because the taxation of your Social Security is dependent upon what your income is. The more income you have, the more taxes you have to pay on Social Security. So we pull all those things together, and then what do you want to live or leave down the road for your grandkids?
When someone comes in and gets the plan developed, is it something that is set in stone, or does the plan can that ever be changed 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
Good question, Uncle Henry. Every plan we design, we build in a great deal of flexibility because we know we're going to be changing the plan. It's just like when you program in a destination in your GPS in your car and you're going on a trip. If there's a detour, you may have to take a detour somewhere down the road, so you got to change your plan, but you still have the end destination is going to be the same. This is where we're trying to get to. How we get there may change 2 years from now, 5 years from now, and we're going to hit bumps in the road. We're going to have a new roof on the house, a new air conditioner. We're going to Trump. That wasn't a Trump tweet. It was
Somebody. Did you get a text from
no, that was
university president?
No, it's Fox News breaking. Anyway,
Okay.
Comey hadn't said anything too alarming yet.
But if things pop up, you just mentioned the roof, maybe a health issue, maybe suddenly you decide you want to help somebody in the family that you had not anticipated you needed to help. Life presents things we don't see coming.
We call them bumps in the road, and we know we're going to have some. We just don't know how big of a bump and how much that bump's going to cost. So we have to have a part of the plan, not just a portfolio. Like Ed said, it's not about the money. It's about you. It's about you and your plan. So when we build in that flexibility, we can change that plan every year, and we will. We'll modify it slightly. We'll tweak it as we go. But the starting point is putting it on paper, putting a plan, putting a goal down. Like Ed said, we ask a lot of questions. We had a lady in whose husband died a month or so ago, and her attorney referred her to us because he's also a client of ours. And she just had one question about something that her husband owned. It was an account, and she wanted us to kind of help her do something with it. Well, that's all she came for us to do. Well, that's not what we did. We started asking her questions. It was an hour meeting. Mm-hmm. We didn't make any recommendations about what she came for. She even mentioned about 45 minutes into it, she said, I thought I was coming for y'all just to do something with this account. Well, we can't do anything with that account until we know more about her and what her needs are. And that was a big bump in the road when her husband died, losing his Social Security, losing half of his pension, all kind of things. So before we make a recommendation on that account, we've got to know everything else that's going on in her life. And so she said, wow, this is something I should have done while my husband was still alive. Yeah, it is. Don't wait till that bump in the road. Have a plan. So now we're putting together a plan for her. I talked to her yesterday, by the way, Ed, twice. But it's something that, going back to what you said, the plan is adjustable, changeable, tweakable as we go through life. And as we get older, we move the plan more and more to a conservative nature.
Does somebody have to have a lot of buckets of money to come and see you?
No.
Can you help somebody that only maybe has one bucket of money that they're working with?
Yeah, that's fine. When people come to us, they think of the one big bucket.
Right.
It may be their 401k or their IRA or their brokerage account or the equity in their house. We have people say, should I get a reverse mortgage? All these type things. I need to buy a car. Should I take money out of should I pay off my mortgage with my 401k next month when I retire? We run all those scenarios. What should we do with all aspects of our planning for our clients? And they find it a big help that they've got somebody else that kind of, between the three of us, we may have seen just about everything. If not, we're gonna look at it objectively and figure out exactly what it is. But to answer your question, no, they don't have to have a lot of different buckets. They don't have to have a lot of big buckets. They can come to us, and we want to help them grow their buckets, maintain their buckets. If they come to us and have one big bucket, most of the times we split that up into a bunch of smaller buckets. We don't like to have all of our eggs in one basket. We like to have buckets that are designed to do certain things. If we don't use it for that thing it was designed for, then it'll be used for something else. We're not locking money into something for just one purpose. So it gives us a lot of flexibility, and by doing that, it gives our clients a lot of assurances that pretty much anything that's going to happen, I know what to expect.
We're going to take a brief time out to listen to weather and also get a news update, and then we'll have more with McNeil, Ahrens, Lambert Financial. MALfinancial.com is the website. Telephone number is 251-666-5000. That's 251-666-5000.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks are holding steady as former FBI Director James Comey begins his testimony before the Senate. Another event traders will be tracking are the government elections happening today in the United Kingdom. Dell Technologies is capitalizing on its growing product portfolio 9 months after completing one of the largest tech deals in history with its acquisition of EMC. Michael Dell has used a merger with EMC to expand his company's lineup of gear and modern software for corporate data centers. In auto news, Honda plans to unveil its first global electric vehicle model this year and introduce fully self-driving cars around 2025. Manufacturing is certainly not as important to the U.S. economy as it once was, declining to less than 12% of gross domestic product in 2016 from 26% 50 years earlier. The U.S. remains a production powerhouse, though, accounting for almost 19% of global manufacturing, behind China's 25%, but bigger than Germany's and Japan's shares combined. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Tomorrow morning at 5. Syria. Uncle Henry.
Check.
Has his checklist.
Judge Neil Gorsuch.
News, weather, traffic.
Boom.
Entertainment.
Boom. Check.
News Radio 710. WNTM. First alert weather from WKRG News 5 and the Chemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
I'm meteorologist John Nodar with the News 5 First Alert Storm Team. This is the weather we've been waiting for. Lots of sun, daytime high in the mid to upper 80s, which is just about right for this time of year, and low humidity on a northerly breeze. Tonight, starry skies and a big bright moon, and for tomorrow and Saturday, more sunny, warm days.
This report is brought to you by McDonald's.
Hit McDonald's for mega values and variety. For a limited time, enjoy soft drinks for $1 each. Small McCafe Delights for $2, and sausage biscuits, burritos, and McMuffins just $1.19 each. Price and participation may vary.
I'm Uncle Henry, a customer of Heads Heating and Air Conditioning. I've used them for maintenance and for when my old system went out on me. Last year, I asked them to turn to the experts, Carrier, and replace my old natural gas furnace with a Carrier 95% high-efficiency unit. And so I had a cozy, warm home last winter with lower heating bills, and I'm looking forward to a cool home this summer with that new system. Carrier, high-efficiency natural gas, and Heads Heating and Air Conditioning make a great team. Did you know they've got financing available at 0% interest for up to 60 months? You can't beat 0% on a new system. What a great combo. Carrier, natural gas, Heads Heating and Air Conditioning, and financing at 0% interest for up to 60 months. So turn to the experts, Carrier, and call Heads Heating and Air Conditioning. The number is 251-653-7873. 251-653-7873. See if you qualify for that great deal on 0% interest.
It's heating and air conditioning, where 3 heads are better than 1.
At Mercedes-Benz Mobile, servicing the customer always comes first. If your Mercedes is in need of repair or general maintenance, come see us at our state-of-the-art service center on Dolphin Street. Our highly certified auto technicians are equipped with the latest tools and technologies to take care of your Mercedes or any other luxury vehicle, including Lexus, BMW, Audi, and Jaguar. Give your car a little TLC and visit our service center at 3060 Dolphin Street today. Mercedes-Benz Mobile, doing our part to keep you moving forward.
You asked for it, and they're making it happen. Mobile Bay Harley-Davidson is ramping up for a jam-packed month of events. Bike nights are back every other Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m., full of food, beer, and music. And every Saturday in June, enjoy free food and beer as you scope the inventory for that perfect ride. If you haven't stopped in recently and paid them a visit, what are you waiting for? Mobile Bay Harley-Davidson, 3260 Pleasant Valley Road, open 6 days a week.
For more information about contests on this station, go to newsradio710.com/rules.
This is a Fox News Alert. I'm Chris Foster. Just getting started on Capitol Hill, the former FBI Director James Comey's testimony in a Senate Intelligence Committee hearing about his firing and the Russia election meddling investigation.
The FBI is honest. The FBI is strong. And the FBI is and always will be independent.
Republican Chairman Richard Burr says, let's get the facts.
Only then will we as a nation be able to move forward and to put this episode to rest.
Virginia Democrat Mark Warner tells Comey,
you've been a straight shooter with this committee and have been willing to speak truth to power, even at the risk of your own career, which makes the way in which you were fired by the president ultimately shocking.
President Trump fired Comey last month, reportedly telling Russian officials soon after it relieved great pressure on him. This is a Fox News alert.
Back here on News Radio 710 WNTM with McNeil, Ahrens, Lambert Financial Group, malfinancial.com. Telephone number 251-666-5000. That's 251-666-5000. John McNeil, Ed Ahrens, Virginia McNeil O'Brien. Before we go any further, do we have another worst joke?
We do, Uncle Henry. You know, most churches have a church gossip.
Yes, absolutely.
And in this particular church, her name was Mildred, and she was the self-appointed arbiter of the church morals, and she kept sticking her nose into everybody's business. Several residents were unappreciative of her activities, but feared her enough to maintain their silence. But she did make a mistake at one time when she accused one of the deacons, George, of being an alcoholic. And after she saw his pickup truck parked in front of the town's only bar one afternoon, she commented to George and others that everybody seeing it there would know what he was doing. So George, a man of few words, stared at her for a moment, and then he just walked away. He didn't explain, defend, or deny. He didn't say a thing. Later that evening, George quietly parked his pickup truck in Mildred's house, in front of Mildred's house, and he left it there all night.
Payback.
Payback. Gotcha.
That's very, very good. I had a question. Before I go into the question, I'd asked you in the last segment about will you help people even if they only have one bucket or not a real big bucket? And you mentioned to me that it's kind of like a ministry.
Right. Okay, we don't look at it as a job. We really enjoy helping people and seeing things work out the way they're supposed to. And that's the definition of a ministry. And we don't look at the dollars and those kind of, like a lot of people, you know, I see on the internet advertising all the time, if you got $500,000, call me and I'll show you how to invest your money and so forth. We don't do that. You know, whatever we can do to help somebody live in retirement peacefully and enjoy those 86,000 seconds every day, that's what we try to do.
Now, I'd mentioned also in the last segment the red zone. You taught me that term, the red zone, just like in football, and only we're not getting to the touchdown, we're getting to retirement, the retirement red zone. What are some of the top concerns of people once they hit the red zone?
Well, you know, a lot of times people that are in the red zone, of course, getting near retirement, and we usually use the red zone as, you know, anywhere from 10 years out of retirement, because some people don't know when they're going to retire. Some people, even in their 60s, say, you know, I feel great health-wise. I like what I do. I don't want to go and retire and just sit at home and do nothing. You know, that's a lot of people's big fear is, what am I going to do in retirement? You know, so some people really don't know when they're going to retire, but some people have the very opposite mindset and say, at 62, I'm going to retire, or 65. You know, they have that date in mind.
59 and a half.
Yeah, 59 and a half. Yeah.
Some people do. They start plotting it out in their 40s as to what day.
And they have that, you know, on the calendar, and that is in their mind, and that is when they want. So they have really that end destination. And really with either mindset, it's just important to, you know, and that's one of the reasons that we spend a lot of time with the clients before we even lay out a plan, is because we want to know what their biggest concerns are. You know, typically we see a lot of their biggest concerns being, do I have enough money to retire? You know, that's usually the number one. Do I have enough money? And am I going to run out of money? You know, kind of one and the same. And am I going to need more money for things like long-term care, especially single people? You know, we see single people a lot because when you have a spouse or you're married, you have this notion that, you know, the other spouse is going to take care of you if you need it, you know, or people with kids, even if you're not married or you're widowed or divorced, you think, oh, you know, if anything, my kids will take care of me.
Right.
But we have plenty of clients that are single or they're married or they don't have kids or whatever it is, and plenty of people that do have kids and are married that are worried, how am I going to pay for long-term care, and who am I going to pay to do that? Am I going to be able to have one of my kids come and help me for free, or am I going to have to actually pay somebody, that kind of thing?
That's my concern. I want to be wheeled into the sunshine at some point in the day.
Correct.
And then wheeled back in.
That's right. So those are really the big things. And that's when, they come to us and they might not even know those are their big fears, but they say things like, all right, my big question here today is, can I retire? When we say, well, we ask the question, how long are you going to live? That's a key part in putting the plan together. And obviously we don't know that answer, and neither do they. But that's a very big component of the plan. And that's why in all of our plans, we take our clients out to at least age 95. And one of the first questions we ask in the first meeting is, are your parents still alive? If they are, how old are they, and what kind of health are they in? Do they have dementia? Do they have Alzheimer's? Things like that are hereditary. And, if they are still alive, or if they did pass away, what caused that? Was it an accident or was it natural? Those kind of things. Do they die young? And people at first kind of think that's a strange question to ask, but it's a huge part in our plan, because if we have people that on each side have parents that are in their 90s still living by themselves sometimes and still driving or whatever, we're definitely going to take them out to age 95, maybe even 100, because we don't know how long they're going to live. And if we only take a plan out to age 75, well, then we don't know they could live another 20 years after that, right? And we want to. People laugh when we pull out a plan that goes out to age 100. They say, "There's no way I'm going to live that long, no way." But we say, "Well, how do you know?"
Yeah. What if?
What if you do?
Well, go to Ed Ahrens Church, and when they ask, like on Mother's Day, will all the mothers over the age of 90 raise their hand?
It's a packed house, I bet.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, there are a lot of people, especially women, are going way into their 90s now.
Well, and the baby boomers are living historically. I mean, they're shattering records on how much longer they're living. I mean, the mortality tables keep getting pushed out and pushed out and pushed out for all different things, and that's the biggest factor is, the biggest factor in putting a plan together is, well, how long are you going to live? And we ask that kind of jokingly. And, we had a client in this week that says, 92. I'm pretty certain I'm going to live to age 92. Well, what if you live to age 93? And, another funny thing that usually happens is some people say, I want to leave a big legacy to my kids and my grandkids or the church or charities, whatever it is. And then we have some people that say, I've worked really hard for what I have, and whatever I have left can go to the church or my kids or whatever. But I want to really just worry about spending it. I want to have $15 left in my checking account when I pass away. How can we do that? Well, that's a dangerous game to play too. So it's we don't know how long you're going to live, and that's a huge factor in it. But that's a huge concern of people, and that's why we put together some of these things to protect against some of those concerns.
Yeah, that's the big thing, the plan. And we're going to take everybody out till age 95 or longer, depending on their the family history.
I would be encouraged to plan out to be around that long. Really would. Good. Look, we've got to take a quick time out, and then we come back with more. Here with McNeil, Ahrens, Lambert Financial Group, malfinancial.com. You can call them at 251-666-5000.
You don't want to mess with the IRS. They have the power to garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. That's all true. But thankfully, they're offering a way out. The Fresh Start Initiative. If you qualify, it could save you thousands. The experts at Optima Tax Relief will fight to get you the best possible tax settlement. And they have an A rating with the Better Business Bureau to prove it. Call Optima for your free consultation.
Call 800-960-1575. 800-960-1575.
You're unique, so why is your mattress one size fits all? Because a custom mattress costs thousands until now.
Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of HelixSleep.com, where you can buy a mattress online, customized for you, for hundreds of dollars instead of thousands. Go to HelixSleep.com, answer a few simple questions, and we build you the most comfortable mattress you'll ever sleep on. Shipping is free, and you have 100 nights to try it out. Go to HelixSleep.com/radio and get $50 off your order. HelixSleep.com/radio.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Have you heard of property tax lien certificates? Robert Kiyosaki and President Trump have written books on this fixed double-digit rate investment. Don't outlive your money. Protect your IRA from volatile markets. Invest in municipal-issued fixed rates. Call Cornerstone, a professional tax lien trading firm. Call 800-222-INFO. 800-222-INFO. That's 800-222-INFO.
Mueller isn't just a brand name for quality metal products. It's a way of life for our customers. We're known for manufacturing our own steel buildings and metal roofing, but more importantly, we're known for exceeding our customers' expectations, and we don't take that for granted. Thanks to lifetime relationships built on a strong foundation of trust, Mueller is celebrating 85 years in business producing quality steel products and 85 years of making customers' dreams come true. We can give you a more beautiful home, greater comfort and peace of mind, and a place for your business to prosper, your hobbies to grow, and your lifestyle to flourish. To find out more about Mueller Steel Buildings and Metal Roofing, call us today at 877-2-MUELLER or design your own custom building with our 3D design tool at MuellerInc.com. That's MuellerInc.com.
Back here on News Radio 710 WNTM with McNeil, Ahrens, and Lambert Financial Group. John McNeil, Ed Ahrens, Virginia McNeil O'Brien. You can find out more about them at malfinancial.com. That's malfinancial.com. In the last segment, I was asking about the concerns of people who go into the retirement red zone. They're getting close to retirement, and concerns pop up, like the one I could relate to about who will take care of me, that type of thing. How do you address the concerns that people bring up?
Uncle Henry, we address all of the concerns. That's why we ask them what their concerns are.
Right, because we've got the concern of I might run out of money, I might run out of income, I need somebody to take care of me, and you can address those things.
We address all of it. Let me give you a couple of examples.
Okay.
In designing a plan. We had a client 59 and a half years old. Still working, planning on working somewhere between 5 and maybe all the way to age, for 5 or 10 years, maybe all the way to age 70. But at 59 and a half, a lot of people don't realize that if you're participating in a 401k, at 59 and a half, you can do what's called a non-hardship in-service transfer and move your 401k to an IRA.
Or some of it.
Or some of it. But you still keep putting money into the 401k while you're working.
Yeah, it still keeps your 401k intact.
Keeps it intact, but we just
keep
move
getting the match.
Yeah, but we just take some of the money out and put it into an IRA, because in an IRA we've got unlimited choices as far as what to do with the money. You know, in your 401k here, you've probably got 20 different mutual funds you can put your money in.
Right.
And you tell it which ones to do. But an IRA, it's unlimited. You can put it in anything, but basically. So this particular client came to us, and it was about $600,000 that we did an in-service non-hardship transfer to an IRA. Then with that $600,000, and he kept putting money into the 401k to build it back up. But inside the IRA, we split it up, and we segregated $200,000 of the $600,000 and put it into an account. They got an 8% bonus, so it took that $200,000 to $216,000. And our plan is not to touch that account until age 70. The reason being, that account is has compound growth for income purposes at 7%. So we know that with that 8% bonus and a 10-year time frame from 60 to age 70, we know that $200,000 we put in there is guaranteed to have $424,905. That's guaranteed. So our money's going to double because we're earning 7% on 108% of what we put in. The other $400,000, Ed and Virginia designed a investment portfolio, and that's going to be managed in the market to accomplish some other things. This particular bucket is designed to address one of his concerns: how much income can I produce in retirement? Well, we know this $425,000 roughly. Not only is it guaranteed to be worth $425,000, but it's also guaranteed to pay him $22,945 a year from just this one bucket. Now he's going to have all these other buckets that we'll have at the time of retirement. The other thing was key because he's an individual, doesn't have a family. Who's going to take care of me as far as long-term care? So this thing provides for, instead of $22,945 a year in income at age 70, it will provide him $45,890 a year if he needs assistance with activities of daily living from this same bucket. And the activities of daily living, if he cannot perform 2 of the 6, eating, dressing, bathing, toileting, transferring, incontinence, that's the 6 activities. If he needs help with 2 of those 6, then it doubles the income from $23,000 a year to $46,000 a year to help pay for long-term care. And that's just that one bucket that we segregated away. If let's say he dies before we start taking income, or even after we take an income, his beneficiaries will get whatever's in that bucket, whatever he hadn't used yet. But the good thing is, if he lives out to be age 100, he will have used up all of this bucket, especially if we have to have long-term care. There won't be any money left in that bucket, but the income never stops. Okay?
Okay. I like that. The income never stops.
Just like in Social Security. If you turn on your Social Security at age 65, you're going to get all the money you've put into it by the time you're, I think it's 79 or something like that, all the money you and your employer have put in. So the bucket's dry, but you keep getting that income even if you live to age 100. Same here. The only difference is if you die of Social Security, nobody gets anything. Here, they get everything that's still in the bucket. So that's one way we address that particular concern.
And that answers the question of most retirees. Am I the greatest fear? Am I going to outlive my income?
And who's going to take care of me if I need taken care of?
Right.
Those are and how am I going to pay for it? Those are the 2 biggest concerns. So we have different ideas that we implement into a plan. We have other things. Long-term care is a big part. It's probably the number one hole that we find in people's thought process. They have not set aside anything to address that cost.
When I was a youngster, it was never even talked about.
No.
You didn't think about it.
No. So now
we live longer, but we need help doing it.
We need help doing it. And again, when you were a youngster, the plan was when mom and dad got old, the kids are going to take care of them. And that still may be part of the plan. Unfortunately, the kids have their own life. You call it the sandwich generation. You have the sandwich generation are the kids who are raising kids and also taking care of their parents. They're stuck in the middle. Very tough, emotionally,